I'm Pete White.
I'm Stephen Mowry.
This is John Fish.
I'm George Griffin.
I'm Michael Davis.
Hey everybody, this is Island Fight CEO D.
Hello, world. What's up, everyone? This is Dave here from Fight Bananas, and I am in the lab with my main man,
the professor, John Radford. How we doing tonight, everybody?
Man, we're doing real good. In the gym today, man. I loved it. A little gym session before we got into the studio.
Yeah, got a little work in, got a little pad work in.
I love it. Big show tonight, guys. We're going to do a big Facebook Live show, so this podcast will be a little bit different. We just had 4, Jessica Borga, Mike, Biggie Rhodes, Phil, Fresh Prince, Rowe, Shelby Corrin, Dean Tool Promotions, June 15th. We got the Combat Night main event, Shelby Corrin versus Taylor Samantha White. Jessica Borga's looking for a fight real soon. Hopefully I didn't give anything away by that title, but we'll see. Anyways.
Don't forget the debut of Supreme Patty.
Oh,
Supreme Patty.
And, you can see that poster at the Times Square if you want to walk around. Gosh, isn't that amazing?
Every day between now and the fight?
Yes.
For, what? Is it all during the day? There's a 6-hour period or a 3-hour, 4-hour period?
I think it's 3 to 9. I think it's 6 hours.
It's prime time. Yeah.
Oh,
it's good
prime
stuff.
time. Oh, Dean
right.
Tool only knows prime time.
That's what I'm talking about. That's good stuff.
It is. That's really good. But we have so much to talk about. Gus retires, a new heavyweight boxing champion. Alex just fought in the PFL. David Feldman will be coming on. Bare Knuckle FC promoter, champ, president.
Don't forget Jimmy Manuel retired too.
Oh yeah, your boy.
That was
Jimmy.
a couple of days later.
You're all over that. I can't wait. So we'll talk about that. But guys, we will be going on Facebook Live. Listen to the show. Download, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a neighbor. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Anything else? I think we killed it.
I think
all
you
right?
got it. I think you got it.
Gosh, I'm getting pretty good at this. All right, man. Stay tuned.
How we doing? Thank you for coming on, sir.
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. First of all, big fans. Big fans of Bare Knuckle Boxing FC. We're excited. We're from Daytona, Port Orange boys. We're really good with Dean Tool up there in Pensacola. So when we heard June 22nd, Tampa, Florida, we're excited. We're all in. We're going to be there live. John Radford will be covering the fights there for Fight Bananas.
Yes, sir, man. It's going to be that's a heck of an event you got going on over there, sir. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, man, it's a stacked card. We're so happy to be able to do this event in Tampa, Florida. It's a great fight market. It's a great state. It's a way bigger population than anything we've ever done before, so we have a lot more people to market to. And the reception we're getting in Tampa and just the Florida fight fans in general has just been it's been awesome.
Great point right off the bat. I've been saying this for probably 2 years now. Florida is heavy in mixed martial arts, boxing, tons of camps, boxing camps. I think Florida might be the hottest state right now for bare knuckle, MMA, Dean Tool Promotions, UFC. Can you expand on that? How excited you are to be in Tampa and in Florida?
Absolutely. I mean, any fight that really comes to Tampa, all the smaller shows, the boxing shows, the MMA shows that are going there. Dean does great stuff up in Pensacola. That's my guy. And Tampa, they love fights, and we brought this fight to them. We were able to do. We were contemplating either Tampa or down in the Hollywood or Miami area, and we figured let's just start it up here in Tampa because we thought that it was a little bit better of a fight market, and the fans are tickets are selling. We moved from one hall, which was the entertainment hall, to the expo hall, which now holds about 2,000 or 3,000 more people.
Oh,
so
awesome. That's awesome.
It's exciting. It's not only exciting with that. Everybody that wants to help with this, there's a lot of guys in Tampa that are in the fight scene already that are reaching out to help. And in Philly, where I'm from, they don't do that. It's every man stands by himself, man. They're all reaching out to help with us, man. And so it's fantastic to be there.
The Sunshine State.
Yes. So being from Philly, boxing's in your blood. It is. It's been there since day one. And your father was a professional. You boxed and everything like that. So it's been there. What is What got you over to the bare knuckle side of it more than this? Now, instead of just being a boxing promoter, now you're doing something that's a little bit different in the game, which I truly enjoy and watch, and I think it's a great promotion, and you're running it extremely well and very successful. But what brought you that direction?
Well, I was boxing promoting after my boxing career. I was boxing promoting, and then I went into mixed martial arts, and I went back into boxing, and I started promoting a fighter by the name of Bobby Gunn, who you guys probably heard of from Bare Knuckle. And he was a former cruiserweight world champion, so I promoted one of his fights in Arizona, and then he started telling me about his heritage, which he's a gypsy traveler. So he started telling me about how they would fight in the fields, and they would solve family disputes and bet on them, bare knuckle. And I was like, that can't happen. So I started researching it, and I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. I'm going to do a show. And he's like, no, you'll never get it done, pal. So in 2011, August 5th, 2011, I did a show at the Fort McDowell Casino in Scottsdale, Arizona. One bare knuckle fight, which was Bobby Gunn on the main event, with the amateur mixed martial arts card on the underneath of that. And we did it on this new online streaming company back then, and we were at that point logged in almost 1 million people were logged in to purchase it, and the paywall crashed. So we didn't get paid, but we knew from that point on that we had to get this going. So I lobbied for 9 years, and 28 states said no. 29th state, Brian Pedersen of the great state of Wyoming, man, awesome dude, awesome state, and he gave us the go-ahead. Now we are officially legal in 6 states, and looks like 5 or 6 more coming up pretty soon. So the options are opening up, the markets are opening up, and I think that's just a lot better news for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
Absolutely. 2 questions out of that. Loved a lot what you just said. For one, I think it's true that this was the first sanction, a year ago. Almost June 2nd is the birthday of Bare Knuckle FC. 1989. Am I correct on that? That's the first sanctioned Bare Knuckle since 1989.
Well, actually, it's 1889. But we are the first legally sanctioned and regulated. So when we say that, like, other events could be legal. You could go on to tribal ground and do something that's legal, but it's not sanctioned or regulated. We're the first legal, sanctioned, and government-regulated bare knuckle fighting company in the history of the world, really. There's never been a legally sanctioned and regulated bare knuckle fighting company ever. So we truly broke ground on June 2nd, 2018, and we're making some moves. We're happy.
Absolutely, and John hit on it. Your father, your brother, yourself. I know your son's involved with it now. It's really cool. Does that give you an advantage over other promoters, other promotions that you guys have done it? You guys have done it as fighters, as coaches. You've seen ins and outs. Just to call out, Dana White never, you have some inside juice that maybe Dana doesn't have, or Scott Coker, something of that nature. Does that give you a little bit of an advantage?
I think it gives me a little bit better advantage in dealing with the fighters, because I get it. I've been there. I understand what they're fighting for and why they're fighting, and they deserve to be treated right. And, it's easy. It's the kind of sport where it's easy to try to screw somebody over. So usually it's easy to do the right thing. In this sport, it's easy to do the wrong thing. It's not as easy to do the right thing, and we're doing the right thing. We're paying the fighters great, more than they can make anywhere else right now. We're also paying them, a lot of them, more than their contracted amount, too. So a lot of the fighters are happy. I mean, just today, and I just counted it before I came on the show because I was like, man, I got an overwhelming response. I got 42 fighter applications in today, just today. And some former UFC vets, some big names. So it's growing, man. I mean, it's not a fad. It's not a flash in the pan. That's what we're hearing. We're a fad. We're a flash in the pan. We're a gimmick. Well, I mean, we're a gimmick that's going to be around for a while. It's been around since the beginning of time, and we're going to keep it going. We have a great team. We have a great financial backing. We're in a really good, strong position to really make a run at this.
I agree with you. I agree. You're hitting on it. You're going right into my questions. I love it. We got a good flow. Do you have an athlete that's in your organization already, or an athlete that you just said 42 people just signed up and want to be a Bare Knuckle FC champ one day, that you think you can build the brand around? I can argue 10 years ago, 8 years ago, Ronda Rousey helped build the women's, division in UFC. Conor McGregor for 5 years, 3 years in UFC. Of course, Floyd in boxing. Do you think you have that fighter in your organization now, or someone that you have your eye on that you would love? It just is, yelling Bare Knuckle FC on this guy or girl.
Yeah, I mean, we have some fighters right now that are on our roster that we think potentially could be stars. Very, very good fighters and very good personalities, and maybe one or two that could be potentially, I guess you would say a superstar. But no one really popped out of me where I'm like, oh my God, this is the next Conor McGregor yet. But we definitely have some fighters that I think we can build that have good personality, and there's definitely a lot reaching out. I'm not really picking out any fighter. I'm not really going after any particular fighter right now. The fighters are really coming to us, and then when we get recommended to another fighter, we have a slew of fighters, especially right after July. There's a July fight. Yeah. After that fight, we're going to announce. I think people are going to be like, him? They got him? So we're going to get him too.
Wow, we can't wait.
You have a few fighters that have some star power as it is out there. My guy that I've watched for a long time, Chris Lieben. He'll be on this card coming up fighting Brennan Ward, another big MMA guy. Out of Bellator and fighting. I think he was a 170 fighter out of Bellator, and then Chris Lieben was in the welterweight to middleweight category a lot in his careers. So you have some guys on your roster that can carry you for a little while, and they're bangers. You know what I mean? They're gonna go in and go. What Chris knocked a guy out in the last fight in like 30 seconds. He's got heavy hands.
He's at 2 bare knuckle fights and a total of a minute and 30 seconds.
Exactly.
I mean, Chris definitely. Chris has been there before. He's a little bit older, but I mean, you would never be able to tell. I mean, do you see the way he's fighting? He's fighting unbelievably. So he definitely has some star power. The only negative about Chris, which isn't really negative because he's just a nice dude, but he doesn't really talk a lot of smack. And I think to be a superstar, you're going to need to talk a little bit of smack.
You got to get that entertainment
this dude's an
game
animal.
going.
And this fight against Brennan Ward, I mean, fight it tonight all over it. I mean, Artem and Paulie, great fight. I'm sure we're going to get into that, so I'll wait a little bit for that. And then the lightweight championship finals, Reggie Barnett versus Johnny Bedford. Everybody's going, I can't wait to see that fight. Yeah. So that's going to be an unbelievable fight as well. So we definitely have some guys. I mean, we have Sam Shoemaker who fought for us before, one-punch knockout, can really fight. He's got that hillbilly look. He's the hillbilly hammer. So I think someone like that could possibly be a star. We're also going to be starting in August a 4-woman 125-pound tournament, and then probably 2 months after that in October, we're going to start the women's 135-pound tournament. Awesome. The women so far in bare knuckle fighting have been super exciting, so we definitely want to add more women to the mix now.
Oh, very cool. I look forward to that too. 125 and 135, I think, is a solid category for them. A lot of women around that weight fight, so that's a good two good divisions to definitely do. That's awesome.
Yep.
Very cool. Another question for you. Who came up with the look of the squared circle? It's just beautiful on the eyes. You walk into the arena and see that. It's like must-see TV. Who came up with that look?
Well, we were trying to design a fighting platform that would stand out from anything else. And so we originally came out with the hexagon ring that was used by, I think, a wrestling organization. And we looked at it and we just kept looking at it and we said it looks too similar to a cage. So we designed this circle ring, and then we tried to put it together, and it all fell apart. It was so hard to keep together. We couldn't keep it together. So between my son, David Feldman Jr., and Gary Grant, who actually built the ring himself, it was really those two who kind of put it all together for us. It's amazing. The big thing that we did about bare knuckle fighting, about everything that we did to design the sport, the rules, the regulations, the tone, the line, everything was just to stand differently. We didn't want anybody just flicking the channel and be like, oh, there's boxing or there's MMA on. Like, wow, what is that? And I think with this ring and with the total line in the middle, I think we caught that.
Next question. How did you come up with the toe to the line action? It's unique to you. Just like you said, is that something you're trying to differ yourself from, different organizations? Boom. Beautiful way. How did you come up with it? Who was it? Who's the brains? Who's the, how did that come to fruition?
Yeah, the same thing in researching some of the old time bare knuckle fights where they would have scratch lines.
Yeah.
They're called scratch lines, but they were further apart. But we said, look, it's all got to be action. So it's 2 4-foot lines in the center of the ring separated by 3 foot. So as soon as the bell rings and you throw your punch out there, you can hit your opponent. Again, that was something that actually, I kind of designed. It was action because I'm like, how do we get more action? And if they start right in front of each other, they have to give some action. Yeah. So, like I said, everything we did to design this, to design the clinching so you can punch and clinch, you can do the Muay Thai clinch where you can pull the head down. It was all for excitement because we don't want any dull moments and 5 2-minute rounds. The faster rounds because they're going to fight the whole way through the round. So everything we did was for excitement, and I think 95% of the fights that we've had so far do have that excitement written all over it.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely agree.
John, take it away. I know you got to talk about it. Artem and Paulie, you're just all into this fight. This man is all about this fight.
I am very excited for this fight. I am a 100% boxing fan and a 100% MMA fan. I love them both. I'm really interested to see a guy like Paulie who likes the jab fight a guy who likes the brawl. If you hit with bare knuckle, you have the options of break. You don't have the option, but you have the chance of breaking your hand a lot easier. You know what I mean? Hit the top of the head, anything like that. That jab could just, now your hand's broke a little bit. Now you can't throw that with the force you want to. But, Artem is a warrior by trait, and Paulie is a boxer by trait. It should be a very interesting matchup, but, who do you think? I feel that the warrior by trait has a little bit more of advantage in a bare knuckle fight than a boxing fight. That's just the way I look at it. How do you feel about that? I mean, if you want to say.
I can't really say who I really think is going to win, but I can tell you that that's part of the misconception of boxing, because you would think that the brawler is going to win, and maybe the brawler does win because, listen, this is bare knuckle, and I always say, this is bare knuckle, it's different. It is truly different. Because when you get hit, it's not the brain rattling, the head shaking different. It's actually the hurt. You get hit on your cheekbone, you get hit in your nose with the bare knuckle. It actually hurts. So it's a little bit different, but you're not getting the rattling and knocked out as fast or, taking the continual punishment as you do with gloves, boxing or MMA. But you are getting the little bit of pain. I mean, it's really a toss-up because if Paulie can come out and box like he boxes with bare knuckles, I think it's an easy night for him. And then when he gets hit with the bare knuckle, I think he's going to say, wow, this is not boxing, and I'm really in for a fight. And Artem wants a fight. I mean, look, love him or hate him, even 50-50 record in the UFC, no one can ever say that Artem Lobov doesn't come to fight. He always comes to fight.
Every night.
And and I think this sport is exactly, made up just for him. I mean, that fight with him and Jason Light was really, truly one of the top 5 to 10 fights I've really ever witnessed. I mean, it was unbelievable. We just watched it again tonight. The last round of it was unbelievable.
Do you have a little bit of that was your Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin moment?
Absolutely. I was in about the 3rd round and then the 4th round and then the 5th round. And then after the fight, I was like, oh, my God, we just made it. Like, this is unbelievable. This is what we needed. This is exactly what we needed. And I think it really, truly is what we needed because now I think we have 10 times the amount of people talking about it than we're talking about it before that fight.
100% agree. 25 times more. Yeah, the press conference, them two getting into it. June 22nd, Tampa, Florida. Everyone is talking about it here in the state of Florida. The buzz around it's amazing. I got 10 rapid-fire questions. We call it Going Bananas. But before we get into that, anyone you want to, shout out, pay-per-view links, fighters, anything, the floor is yours.
If you're in Florida and watching your show, you can get your tickets at bareknuckle.tv. All the really good seats are gone. There is some table seats left. All the ringside seats and anything back are gone. The tickets are flying. They really are truly flying. I know a lot of promoters say, Get your tickets fast. They're going to sell out. This thing is going. We moved to a bigger arena. That's how fast they were going. This one is selling. So go to bareknuckle.tv. That's bareknuckle.tv to get your tickets now. We're on pay-per-view on all the major cable and satellite outlets all throughout the United States and Canada. All the big channels that you watch UFC on, that you watch the big boxing matches Mayweather on, we're on that same channel and we're also on Fight TV. Fight TV can be streamed anywhere around the world. So we're on Fight TV, all the major cable and satellite networks all around the United States and Canada. And again, a lot of promoters say, you can't miss this fight. You can't miss this fight. Don't be there on Sunday and say, man, I should have watched that fight. This is going to be an unbelievable show. The whole show, because it's bare knuckle. So it changes the game. We don't need a bunch of names, but now to have these two names headlining this event, it just makes it that much better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We appreciate your time very much, David. David Feldman, president, promoter, the boss, the heavy, Bare Knuckle FC. Okay, 10 questions, rapid fire. First thing comes to your head. You ready?
Go ahead.
In their prime, Tyson or Ali?
Tyson.
A dream venue to have a Bare Knuckle FC event at?
The Garden, Madison Square Garden.
What's your favorite day of the week?
Monday.
Me too. Right. Your favorite combat sports athlete ever?
Willie Pep.
Okay.
Love that. Wow. You're stranded on an island. What's the one CD you bring that you listen to on a loop?
Oh, man, that one's tough, man. That one's really tough. U2, probably.
Okay. Joshua Tree?
Yeah, love it.
What actor would play you in a movie about you?
Oh, who would play me? Matt Dillon, maybe?
Okay.
That's actually all right.
What's a dream fight for you to promote?
Conor McGregor versus anybody in the world. But I'd love to see. I really would love to see Rumble get in there and fight really anybody. I mean, someone like that against any one of our fighters, I think would be Rumble. A great fight.
Get Rumble.
But I think that's so tough. I didn't really think about it. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
What's more of a rival to Bare Knuckle FC, boxing or the UFC?
UFC.
Okay.
Yep.
Last question for you, boss. Bare Knuckle FC in 2021 will be?
We will have 24 shows. We will be talked about on the same level as any boxing or mixed martial arts promotion in the world.
Love it.
David Feldman, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. You're welcome back on Fight Bananas anytime. We will see you June 22nd. We're excited. Thank you, bud.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait to meet you guys in person. Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Just one time.
So that was David Feldman with us, guys. President, the boss, the heavy for Bare Knuckle FC. Also, another spoiler that he threw out. How about the 125, 135-pound female division? Going to be crowning new champions.
Yeah, and he's right. The fights that they've been in, and the women, they've been really nonstop action. It's been very, very. Oh, it's just like MMA. If you ever watch a girls fight in MMA, it's pretty much action, full blown. You know what I mean? Like a lot. I don't see a lot of boring girl fights unless they're trying to pick and pop, and they don't know how to pick and pop. You know what I mean? Other than that, It's like they really get into it. They go after it. It's awesome. I love watching the girls fight.
Talking about girls fight, how about Hannah Goldie, June 18th, Data White Contender Series, and then the main event of Combat Night, June 15th, Shelby Korn, just on the show, just on the podcast, download and subscribe on all podcast platforms, versus Taylor Samantha White. Holy shit.
The next big thing.
The next big thing, guys. I cannot wait for that fight. That's in Duval.
Main event, women's main event, and Combat Night in Duval, man.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, David was great. Unbelievable.
He made a point about the bare knuckle that I never thought about. I feel kind of crappy that I never thought about it, but I box with gloves on, so that would make more sense, right?
The pain of the
actual knuckle. Like, it makes sense because when you, like, somebody elbows you in the head in basketball or anything like that, or you've got elbowed before, I've been there. I was like, oh, that actually kind of stings and hurts to the bone.
Sure.
And that's what that's going to feel. It's different. I never thought about that.
Hey, that's why he's the boss.
He's thought about that.
But there's so much more to talk about, guys. Fight Bananas. We cover all combat sports. Gus, Jimmy, your boy retiring. There's a new heavyweight champion in the boxing. Let's just start there.
First Mexican heavyweight boxing champion ever.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Andy Ruiz Jr., and in one night collected 4 belts.
It's boxing.
And he did the damn thing. He took a solid punch and knockdown. He got back up and he said, "Nah, this ain't happening tonight. You're not embarrassing me on national TV. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna throw hands."
I loved it.
It was great.
After the fight, he was awesome. Like his interviews, he was.
Favorite line? "Mom, our life just changed."
That was a
love
good
it.
one. He's like, "I got Mexican blood in me." You know?
Like, that's when the Mexican blood kicked in. I got up off the mat and I stared Joshua in the face.
Yep. Do you think it was a mistake to Anthony Joshua, not to have that big match that everyone wanted versus Tyson or versus Deontay Wilder? It looks like it's going to be a rematch.
There's no mistake.
Okay,
because there's no mistake. The mistake wasn't made that you took the fight with somebody else rather than Deontay Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you took a fight with a contender or a guy who's a namer. I mean, everybody knew more about Big Baby Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
Sure.
More than they knew about Andy Ruiz Jr., but he tested positive. On this is, I'm sorry, I'm laughing about this because this is really funny. He tested positive for Mexican pharmaceuticals. Okay. And then who came in and won?
The Mexican.
Who isn't on the Mexican pharmaceuticals. Speak
the truth, Professor. Speak it.
It's a little funny.
It's
a little funny, right? It's a little funny.
Talking about Mexican food, I'm not going to lie. I've literally had quesadillas for dinner, lunch, and dinner. Like, I'm on a effing streak.
Did you skip breakfast, or are you counting dinner as breakfast?
I never eat breakfast, only iced coffee. Like,
okay, he's a Dunkin' guy. He's a Dunkin' guy.
So it was literally quesadilla, iced coffee, quesadilla.
That was yesterday or today?
Yeah.
From where?
Taco Bell, tropical smoothie.
Okay. This is. I don't want to go there, but I was gonna say you consider Taco Bell Mexican food?
Oh yes, it's the best in the world.
It's my. I like it too, but okay. Back to Andy Ruiz Jr. The mistake was not knowing how to jab and punch the right way to a shorter fighter. They weren't able to get his camp quick enough down to where he was aiming the right way with the jab and the shot,
Great
changing levels,
point.
He was punching downward with his chin exposed. So when he went to punch, everything's coming down. He's not changing levels to get the jab and the punches off straight, and he's not moving enough angles when he's doing it in order to keep his head off the center line. So when you get a guy with hand speed and your head stays there and you get 1 or 2 quick shots off, it's going to rattle your brain quick. And the more he's going to just shake you back and forth because he boxes. He's an extremely talented boxer, but it's an amateurish style, but it works for him as a pro because of how he does it. His hand speed is quick. He has heavy hands, and he's very technically tight. And his height, it actually helps him work for his height that way. But it's an amateur type style.
Sure.
Because you can look at that. He's 105-5. He's 24-1, and he lost to. Damn, he lost to. Who did he lose to? I forgot who. Parker. I think maybe it was Parker.
I'm loving your insight though right here. He's tight, technical, and just his height and weight, it helps him.
It does. Everything about him, his game works. Again, it's like not every fighter should fight the same. Not everybody should fight the same. There's different things to it. His style works perfectly for him. It allows him to be in condition, cardio. All of that works for the way he boxes perfectly for him. And that's why he can exploit things like that. When you don't know how to box a man that boxes like that, and you punch down and you don't know what you're doing, you get it. You know what I mean?
I'm going to throw a baseball analogy to you. It's going to blow your mind. Craig Biggio helped himself that he was short, and he would hit like this. So the strike zone was only this big. Second baseman, Houston Astros. If anyone there with me is there with me, it's probably the best analogy I've ever done.
I don't know who that guy is from the Houston Astros. I don't watch baseball enough.
It's during the 90s. I thought that was right up your alley. Craig Biggio.
Oh.
Talking about,
Took me a minute.
We just missed it. Alex Nicholson PFL fight. I was a little late. I was watching it, of course, and I was driving. All right, spoiler alert. My wife, Susie, gave the best commentary highlights of Alex's fight. So I left after the second round. We had Fight Bananas live to do. David Feldman was nice enough to come on the show. We wanted to make sure we were on time for him. So I left after the second round, and I'm driving here, and Susie's like, Alex, run! Knee. It was incredible. And I was like, I do pretty good at commentating. You know, I commentate for Boxing Undisputed Promotions, done it for Mitchell Chamali, Combat Night. I'm pretty good. My wife blew me away. Like, I got to just...
You knew exactly what was happening
at
exactly the right moment.
Oh, I was like, I felt like Alex was fighting in my car. It was that good. So,
good
tip
job.
of the hat.
Good job, Susie.
But Alex Nicholson, spoiler alert, just lost a split decision. His first fight at the PFL. What's so great about it? It's a season.
2 more fights.
Yeah. I think it's August 8th off the top of my head. New Jersey. It's like Ocean City, New Jersey, August 8th. So he's going to be back in the cage, PFL style. Those 10 questions were awesome, weren't they? And his answers were damn good, and they were quick. That's
Conor McGregor, anybody.
I know, and anybody. And so many people, so many shows can ask the same 5 things. How's your training camp going? And David Feldman, Bare Knuckle FC, that's controversial. Like, no, I want to know. Now I know he's a U2 fan. That's cool as shit. So I'm going to see him and be like, and I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
I don't want to hear that on a loop, and I don't want you to sing it on a loop.
God dang it.
I love you, but I don't want to hear that.
I have great hair. I'm pretty knowledgeable. I think I'm a good person, but singing is just, I'm like the shits at it. It's horrible.
I'm worse than you, but you won't hear me do it.
Oh, I go for it all the time.
Nope, not gonna do it. I do it in the shower, like normal people, or in the car when no one's in there, and you can blare it.
No, I'm live around the world right now. There's people watching us in Alaska, and remember when Odin was on? I mean, Hannah Goldie, Odin's mom was. Hannah Odin's mom has got it going on.
Yeah, see, that doesn't...
I'm a professional singer.
If somebody out there thinks that sounds good, give me a thumbs up.
Okay.
Or a like or a love or something. Just somebody hit something if you think Dave sounds good.
I'm not going to talk until I see a thumbs up.
Don't do it, Dave. Don't do it, Debbie.
I'm not good. Debbie?
Don't do it, Debbie.
All right, let's keep the MMA train going. Let's talk about it too.
This weekend.
Oh, UFC 238.
Yeah, this weekend. Henry Cejudo versus... Marlon Moraes.
I'm starting to switch my mind a little bit.
I try to tell you this.
You've been calling this for a minute, and I'm starting to lean a little bit your way. But I'm not going. You want to bet $1?
Of course.
So I got Henry, and you have Marlon for $1.
You got the champ.
Yeah.
Champ. The 3D champ, whatever he's calling himself now.
He
came out in a magician costume.
Yeah, I don't like that
because
shit.
They call the other guy the Magic Man or whatever, or the magician.
You in life. Okay, you ready? 10-second advice from Dave. In life, be you. You do you. Whatever you are, be it. Own it. Be happy about it. You will be successful in life if you do you.
But what if he woke up wanting to be a magician now?
No. Henry is a gold medalist, is a champion of the flyweights, beat Demetrius Johnson, who you can argue is one of the greatest champions of all time in the UFC. He's never done shit like this. Ever.
He brought a snake out against TJ.
But not like...
He brought a snake out against Marlon, too. It was 3 things he pulled out, which I didn't understand why 3.
Yeah, just
and the last thing was a rabbit.
What the...
And I get that the last one's just supposed to be like, hey, I'm a magician and you're a magician, and that's how this is funny.
I don't get it.
I guess that's
don't
funny.
Like it.
I don't know.
I feel Marlon's into it, and this is his, I love when a fighter is has their back against the wall. Marlon knows if he doesn't win this, I'm just going to call it out, he will never fight for a title ever again in the UFC. He's just not really marketable.
Damn, Dave. Hey, Marlon, your career's over, essentially. Dave's like, you're never going to fight for a title ever again if you lose this. No, I don't believe that at all.
You know how many fighters never fight for a title?
I get that, but...
It's tough.
It depends on this fight. If you get starched in 30 seconds and it looks like the TJ Dillashaw fight, then I can believe you. But if this is a 5-round fight of the year war, it might get ran back.
I don't think Henry can be in a 5-round war. His wrestling style.
Well, you're right, because I think
he will lean and sit, or Marlon will get
finish
him.
Finish him
quick, first, second round.
Switch head kick. Lead leg switch head kick. Same way he knocked out and hit Jimmy Rivera and then finished him, and then Aljamain Sterling. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be set up because Henry's going to rush and not time it right. Whoa.
That's us, though. Whoa. We're in the nexus of the universe. For one, I was being the silent on a podcast. I know we're on Facebook Live, but I can't do that, I guess. I can't be like the silent guy on a podcast. Let's see if he wants to come on.
I should have played that for you. I should have been like,
you got to play that up if I'm being the I dropped the mic.
Next time you do it, I'll be like, Dave right now is looking into the cameras with his big, beautiful eyes. And
what up, Roy Jones?
Oh.
What are you doing? You must have forgot. He actually played that a couple months ago, Destin, Florida.
You must have forgot?
Yeah. It was awesome. Roy Jones. It was like a private concert show.
That's awesome.
You have to go to an Island Fights event. You never know what you will miss.
Ever.
Yeah. So that's that.
That's my GOAT.
I agree. And Pete, the Wizard, Pete White from Pete White Boxing here in Port Orange, Florida, he said that people must have forgot a little bit. I like Floyd Money.
There's not a better highlight reel.
Yeah.
In the history of boxing.
No.
Mike Tyson got a hell of a highlight reel, bro.
Yeah.
But that man's highlight reel,
That
I
man
can
is
watch it
named
on
Roy Jones Jr., by the way.
Yeah. The GOAT. We'll just call him whatever you want. Roy Jones Jr., but the GOAT, the best highlight reel in boxing, whatever you want to call it. It was just, I watched it on a loop.
And I'm just going to give him a little bit of credit like he needs us to give him credit. If he was in his prime now, right? If he was around now, his highlights would be on a loop. SportsCenter, ESPN.
And he's a fighter that transcends generations. If you moved him to this generation, he'd still do what he did.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
One of the greatest of all time.
Easy.
So, that's Roy Jones Jr. Tip of the hat. Okay, so we talked about UFC 238 a little bit. Henry Marlin. So I got Henry. Probably going to lose $1, but it's okay.
Did you see what Jessica I did? It was really funny. She came out in a bulletproof vest.
I don't like that.
That's funny. That's funny.
You like that?
I don't know if I like it, but it's funny. The girls never do stuff like that.
I do agree with that.
And she walked out like, oh, I got a bulletproof vest. I'm bulletproof. What's up? You bullet, Shevchenko, whatever. I'm bulletproof. Just like when they used to say break bones, and then he came out with a shirt, unbreakable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I get it.
Well, John Jones is unbreakable. Never lost in the goddamn...
Still got the Thiago Santos like an idiot, but I still got it.
John Jones, the GOAT of mixed martial arts.
Anytime, Roy. We love you.
We just had David Feldman on. Fantastic stuff. Great interview. Great knowledge on Bare Knuckle Boxing FC. But let's kind of spin it a little bit. Hey, Roy's watching a little bit. I do want to get into the Dean Tool Promotion Show, June 15th. If you want to see any of pictures or anything, go to New York City, Times Square. Maybe you heard of it. Okay, let that sink in. The signs are up. Masvidal versus Pettis, Times Square, Supreme Patty's first boxing fight.
Debut.
You got Biggie Rhodes.
Versus Phil Rowe.
Yeah, Biggie Rhodes versus Phil Rowe. Dean Tool, what's up, buddy?
Yoel Romero.
Yeah, versus Chris Beast Barnett. Beast Boy. Okay, I kind of want to rewind real quick to Biggie Rhodes versus Phil Rowe. Had them both on the podcast, the Fight Bananas Podcast that you can download, subscribe, anywhere. It's going to be fun. I don't think they not like each other. I think they just have...
I got next. I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
But,
sorry.
That's going to be, I feel like, they call it the People's Main Event, Tony Ferguson versus Donald Cerrone. The People's Main Event of the Dean Tool Promotion Show on June 15th that you can download the app, RU Live app, to order it on pay-per-view, could be Biggie Rhodes versus Phil Rowe.
Oh, my question is that in gi?
Ooh, Dean Tool can give you that answer. Oh, Dean goes up SD Dumas
versus Mike Lee. That's a good fight.
Which you just kind of mentioned, the Unbroken. SD Dumas is like 100%. I think he's put on this new nickname, Unbroken.
Nice.
So
nice. Awesome. He's a good fighter.
We've been watching SD for a
year
and a half.
We have.
And he was on the podcast earlier. Big time potential.
Absolutely.
Big time potential. UFC bound potential.
And he's a good kid too, man. He's a good kid.
He is a good kid. Very likable. Grinds.
Yep.
Works his ass off. So big up SD Jumez. Watch him on pay-per-view.
Nogi. Thank you, Dean. Thank you. Okay, good. Because I like it, Nogi. I was hoping. I saw him in the gi in the promo, and I was I was really wondering, but I'm glad it's Nogi. I think that's going to be more exciting. I think they'll get after it, a little bit more.
Yeah, and just to be blunt about it, it's on the podcast. You can listen to it. Biggie Rhodes, he's there to put on a show.
Good.
He doesn't want a 15-minute time.
He's trying to submit somebody.
Yeah, he
like,
says you're going to see something. If I get finished, I get finished. But he's going to roll. He's jumping. It's going to be fun. So
as I think it should happen that way.
Oh, of course, it's fun. For once, for charity, Bully Proof Foundations for charity. This is put on a show. Let's have a couple cocktails. It's going to be a good night there in Pensacola Beach, Florida.
Dave, how can you watch this?
The RU Live. It's an app. Push the button. You can order it on pay-per-view. RU Live.
You can watch it anywhere. On your phone, tablets. You stream it to your TV.
North
Watch it
Dakota
anywhere.
to Russia to South Africa. Anyone can watch it.
And all the other places in the world besides that are in between it. Not just those three, but those in between it too. We just wanted to clarify so everybody. So if you're traveling on a plane, you can still... and just don't do it not in airplane mode. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to mess up the shit up there.
Great point, actually. So the last fight, we haven't talked about UFC 238, the Cowboy, Tony Ferguson. We've had a fight breakdown on the Fight Bananas podcast. We went all into it, 20 minutes deep, so we won't go,
Oh, come on, let's do it.
You want to add another 20 minutes?
Nah, we can do it for like 2 minutes.
Tony Ferguson wants his gold back.
He came out, last press conference, weigh-ins are tomorrow, he came out with a belt.
Yeah, I don't like that either. And I'm the most likable guy ever, and I like stuff. I'm super positive.
You don't like a lot of stuff at all. Like, I don't. Why do you not like it? You don't like the bulletproof thing? That was like silent trash talk. I wore a bulletproof vest.
It's Jessica I has never done anything like it. It's just you're going out on the limb. Like you're not. If Connor does the walk, that's his walk. He's been doing it.
Vince McMahon's walk.
That is very true. Vince McMahon. There you go. There's your plug. You owe me $850 now.
850,000, right? You can afford
yeah, of course.
That. Okay.
But Jessica has never done anything like it, and now it's her biggest fight of all time, the title match. To do something like that, it's just, I don't like it.
Maybe that makes her relaxed and ready to go. Maybe she's like, I have to have something. Maybe she needs a bulletproof vest. What if she just needs a bulletproof vest, man?
That is true.
Where are they fighting at? Where's
Chicago, Illinois.
They call it. There's a nickname they call Chicago.
The Windy City.
That we'll stick with that. But I'm just saying that makes that's even funnier.
Yeah, Kanye West raps about it all the time. Like,
right?
More people. Yeah. So actually.
Can we say it?
He's the professor. I'm just a guy with good-looking hair, so the professor wins once again. You won the bulletproof vest debate.
But all right, well, anyway, you didn't like the other thing. What was the other thing we were talking about?
I didn't like how Henry Cejudo is changing.
No, you didn't like Tony coming out with a belt.
Yeah, Tony's not the champ anymore.
Did he lose the belt?
If you can't
did
fight
someone beat
over
him?
18 months,
Did someone beat him? Did someone beat him for the belt?
The best part of ability is availability.
Okay. I mean, I get it, but did he lose the belt? Did somebody beat the champ? Did they beat the champ, or did time beat the champ?
You know what beat the champ? Wearing goddamn sunglasses
inside and tripping.
And you tripped over a wire and you tore your ACL, MCL out.
LCL off the bone.
Tony Ferguson, come on.
Someone keep all cords away from him. And he was wearing glasses inside again today.
I know.
Somebody get that.
Are
they Reebok glasses? Because he shouldn't be allowed to wear it then if it's not Reebok, right?
Glasses inside is for, Madonna, the greatest of all times, Michael Jackson.
Rick James.
If Roy Jones wants to wear sunglasses inside, you can do that. You're Roy Jones Jr. But Tony Ferguson...
He obviously can't see where he's going, so he needs to take them off.
Yeah. But you and I are both 100% on Tony Ferguson's going to win this fight.
But you said he's going to knock him out. I said it's going to be a submission.
Yeah, I think it's more the TKO route.
Yeah.
Wait.
Let's talk about this for a second.
$1? You have submission, I got TKO?
So we're on $2 on this one card?
Yep.
Okay.
Boom.
So what we both called second round.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in the second.
What if it goes past it? We still sticking to whatever the finish is?
Oh, yeah. Finish it. We got money on the finish now.
Okay. All right. Cool. So was listening to a podcast today because I always do when I make my run to Orlando to do our little job. That's fun.
Were you listening to Fight Bananas podcast? Or you already listened to all of them?
I listen to them literally when I go home at night from when we do them right now.
Okay.
Like I go over what we do a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. I go over a lot.
No, but I was listening. You got to like dot the I's and cross the T's.
So I was listening to one, and it was Eddie Bravo, and Eddie Bravo is Tony Ferguson's coach.
Okay.
And he said, which is really funny because Eddie Bravo is a funny man. He's like, I'm never there for the striking, but I am there for all the game planning when it comes to the grappling of anything.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu. He said right now he has never seen him better firing on all cylinders when it comes to it. He says he's showing him very, very advanced transitions and things. He's saying within 5 to 6 times of doing them, he has them not mastered, but usable, like in live action.
Okay.
Like he is on all cylinders firing in the ground game. He's like, I don't know how. He's like, I don't do striking. I'm never there for striking. So it was like, which makes perfect sense. But he said everything to do with the ground game and their game plan, he is firing on 100% cylinders, and they're taking Cowboys' ground game extremely seriously.
Yeah, they need to.
They're using things for that.
Okay.
It was a pretty cool listening to that because I was like,
Eddie knows what he's talking about too. He's always great on podcast. Real quick, Mrs. Debbie Gamble asked a question about: do we ever bet more than $1?
Never. Gentleman's bet.
1, gentleman's bet. 2, I have 2 kids, and maybe breaking news coming soon. So it's always just $1 bet. You know, I got college education.
I don't have a lot of money, and I'm scared to death if I'm not physically able to do the bet myself, like shoot a basketball or box him or whatever it is the bet is. Oh. So if I have to depend on someone else to perform this, it's going to be $1.
100% agree. And if you would box me, I would lose within 40 seconds.
I'm not going to box you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I will outshoot you, though.
That is a debate.
I lost the last time. I will admit that.
I was going to say you were 3-0, and then I won the last one.
You did.
So
it's what you did for me lately.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
won. And you won.
So that was that. So we hit on a lot. Dean Tool Promotions, David Feldman was on. Great. I can't wait to listen to the interview back when we go home later on tonight. It was a great interview by David Feldman. Alex Nicholson, PFL, lost in a split decision. We talked about boxing, Andy Ruiz Jr. That's the last thing. We'll wrap it up for the night, guys. Alexander Gus retires from the sport of mixed martial arts. What's your first take on that, Professor?
I was happy. I was happy. I was happy because I think I just don't see his motivation anymore. I think his last really motivated fight, and like again, it's just, you know, my opinion out there in the world.
The DC?
Yeah. Was no. His last motivated fight was the John Jones one.
The first John Jones or the second?
The second one. I think his last motivated where he said, I'm going to come out, I'm going to try my best. And if you want to know the truth, I don't think John could read him on the feet. And I think he just said, you know what? I don't want to play with this man anymore. I'm going to go to do the easiest thing I can do and get him out of there quicker than I need. Because the ground game is no joke. John is 100% deadly on the ground. He doesn't have to go there. And the last time he couldn't get Gus there. So this time he got Gus there and he's like, oh, well, I'm going to end it here because it's just, you know, it's easier that way. And why play with a guy who can strike and box pretty well in the MMA world and has good power and literally sent John to the hospital for the first time?
Top 3, top 5 best fight ever in mixed martial arts history. Agree with that?
I would say top 5.
Okay. Top 5?
Yes, absolutely.
Last thing, David Feldman is the man. It was unbelievable.
He is the man. It was an awesome interview.
You know, if you're just getting on to it, rewind it back. We're going to be ending here in 3, 5, 7 minutes. I got one last question for the professor right here. David Feldman was incredible interview. Talked to him 20, 25 minutes. It was awesome. Keep up the great work, guys. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Last question of the night. Dean Tool Promotions, June 15th, Pensacola Beach Base Center. Supreme Patty debut boxing fight. You are a tremendous teacher of boxing. I watch you all the time in the gym. That's why they call you the professor. Love everything you do. Attention to detail. You always have a reason for everything, every inch. Can you teach Supreme Patty in 5 weeks, 6 weeks, everything he needs to know for his first fight? Maybe And he used to be in the gym, but this is his first time saying, hey, I'm going to box someone on a Saturday night. Can Supreme Patty get that in 5 weeks?
There's a few things that I believe in my knowledge to coach anybody.
Okay.
Because I really do believe in myself when it comes to that. I think I have a very good, well-rounded base with what, the fundamentals of boxing are and how to get the most out of the different athletes as they come along, because I've seen a lot of different athletes in a lot of different sports that I've done in a lot of different levels. The first thing you have to find out is how quickly can he get in shape? Because as soon as you start losing and getting fatigued, your technique,
you get sloppy. You get
away.
sloppy.
You do when you free throws.
Oh,
why'd you shoot free throws when you were tired? Because you needed to make sure you had the same form every time, right?
Yes, 100%.
So it's the same thing. If he can get himself in shape and we can get him in shape together through the process, and he's truly doing it, then 5 to 6 weeks. Decent athletic person, I guess. I mean, I don't really know. If he is a decent athletic person, that's fine. He used to be in the gym a lot. Okay. Then, yeah, you could probably get him ready for a first amateur boxing fight. You could probably do that.
Okay.
But there's so much dependent on the person doing it. I can be the greatest coach in the world, but if you don't put the work into it, Dave, then it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? And you could be the greatest worker in the world, and if I'm not a good coach, you may not get anywhere other, but you might get more than if the other way. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that it helps that Roy Jones Jr. is helping him?
Absolutely.
And Rosa. Charles Rosa.
Yeah, all of them.
It's
absolutely.
He's got the camp.
Yeah.
He's got the camp. So,
do you know who Devin Cushing is?
Devo? Of course I know Devo.
That's what I'm saying. Like, look at him. One of the best jabs in boxing.
Devin Cushing 2021 will be main event in Barclays Center.
Yes. I like it. And I think so, too. I mean, he's an extreme talent. That's right out of, Roy's camp with Roy's dad and Roy and everybody else there and in his corner. But, he's a boxing, guru. The whole family is. You know what I mean? His dad is. Roy is. Roy Sr., Roy Jr. And then, like I said, it just depends on how serious Supreme Patty is. And I think that's why you hear Dean and them say, yo, he's taking this super duper serious. Like, he's taking it serious. That lets you know that he's in the gym working. As simple as that. And if you got a guy in the gym working and you can get him ready. It just are you that knowledgeable, you know what you're doing, you can make things work.
And we talked about it real quick. We're going to end it, guys. Andy Ruiz Jr., you said how his fighting style is almost, no slight to him, is like amateurish. You can steal an amateur boxing fight, throwing a couple jabs, staying tight, cardio up,
and
volume, and just being in the other guy's face. You pushing the pace.
Oh, all the time. Walking forward,
yes.
Making sure he's on his back foot all the time.
So if Supreme is doing that, pushing it forward, jabbing, good cardio, he's going to win the fight.
No, absolutely. It's going to come down to cardio, 100%, because the first fight ever, you're going to have anxiety through the roof, and then you're going to go out there and you're going to swing crazy, just like, the first time you ever dribbled a basketball and you're like, oh, I'm going to go crazy when I'm out on the court, and then you gassed out in the first, minute and a half, and you're like, oh, damn, I need to calm down for a second and catch my second wind. But it's going to happen. If he's taking it serious, I mean, I want to learn from Roy Jones Jr., wouldn't you?
My hands up.
Both of us do.
Hands up.
I mean,
the GOAT. Roy Jones Jr., the GOAT.
So I think it's going to be a fun fight, man. I think it'll be good. And I think as long as he goes out there and he gives it his all, his 110%, no matter what happens, that's something that 90% of the world doesn't do. They don't get in the ring.
I respect it. All right, guys. June 15th, Pensacola Beach Bay Center. Ticketmaster.com. If you're not in the Florida, Alabama, Texas, New Orleans region, and you want to get it and you want to watch it, download the app on a phone, your tablet, make it on your TV. RU Live app. It's going to be a great price, easy price. Masvidal Pettis is your main event. Yoel Romero, Chris Beast Boy Barnett, Phil Rowe, Biggie Rhodes. It's a stacked card. There's actually going to be another, I think, announcement soon. SD Dumas versus Mike Lee. Absolutely stacked card. Professor, you got anything else?
I really do.
Okay. he said he really did, and then he smiled.
I really do. And I'm sorry, Dave, but I love you. But can you tell me a story about the other day when you were shadowboxing in the kitchen?
Nope.
Can you tell me that story, Dave? Can you tell me that story, please? Please tell me
man.
that story. I love you.
My lovely, lovely wife.
She's
Man,
great.
she is great. Beautiful.
Can you please?
Does laundry. She's a great woman. So, I think I got good head movement. I was a basketball player. I feel like I'm more athletic than the next person. I am 34, definitely not in my prime. It happens to us all. I'm 34 years old. And, go to the gym a little bit. Love watching, love going to Pete White Box and watching Chris Mixon do his work. So many great fighters in that gym. Taylor White, Mike Beast Boy Davis, Anderson Hutchinson, the Professor, the Wizard, Pete White. Love the gym. They're family. So, I like to hit once in a while and just kind of watch everyone. It's fun. And I know some promoters in town, and, I'm definitely a sellable face that maybe Dean Toole wants to put me on a thing in Times Square. Maybe Undisputed Promotion wants to see their commentator / boxer throw in hands. So, I was in the room. Look at the head movement. In the room a little bit. So I'm throwing hands, and I was throwing them quick. And
Lightning fast.
Fast. And I was doing one of these things. I was doing great head movement. I'm trying to do it with the mic, so this is why I'm the best podcaster in the world. And I kind of do the comeback, and I hit myself in the nose. I quickly, excitedly ran to the bathroom because I really think I busted my nose. My nose felt warm, like a blood. So at least I know I have power. I got quick hands, so I took it with a super success. I probably punched my own self in the face, and that's probably not good in boxing. But I got great speed and good hands, so I think I took it as a great success, and my wife loves the story, so it's a win-win-win.
Tyson Fury punched himself in the face with an uppercut during a professional boxing match, so if he can do it, it's okay that you did. But exactly. I do appreciate you telling this story because that was awesome.
That was a good story, and Tyson Fury and me have a lot in common. So
you got better hair, though.
Oh, absolutely. He did pull out the Undertaker, though, in Deontay Wilder, and I've never done that. The rose up the 10th round. Great fight. Boxing. Stack cards. I love it how it's on Fox now, but really cool. David Feldman, Bare Knuckle, FC. Get tickets. They moved it to another venue to get more tickets, so there's still a couple tickets left. They will sell out. Pay-per-view, bareknuckle.tv, I believe. Watch it. He said it 5 times. We appreciate David Feldman coming on the show. Great interview. Great follow. Follow him on his social media platforms. Follow Bare Knuckle Boxing FC.
Yes, sir. Thank you all very much for tonight. We enjoyed it. We had fun.
All right, guys. Stay tuned. Go to fightbananas.com. This is Dave.
And the Professor, John Radford.
We are signing off, guys. Thank you so much. Great episode. Fightbananas.com. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But always go to fightbananas.com.